Selling Online Today, featuring Chris from blingblingonline.co.uk.
If you haven't got an item that's sought after, then you haven't got a business.
Making a great living by selling online is possible if you know who to turn to for help. Welcome to Selling Online Today, the show that features the winners of the online sales world sharing their stories of domination of eBay, Amazon, or their own sites. Here's your host, Patrick Conlin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Selling Online Today, the show that brings you all you need to know to successfully sell online in today's changing environment. We specialise here in Selling Online Today at looking at those people who sell in a multi-channel environment, i.e. that they may sell on more than just their website, either Amazon or eBay, or everything at the same time. So hey, let's have a chat with Chris. We're thrilled to have you here today. Chris, hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, great. Chris owns a website which is called blingblingonline.co.uk. So that's spelled out as bling-bling-online.co.uk. And it's really fascinating. It's all to do with all things hip-hop jewellery. We're going to get Chris to expand on that a little bit more. Chris runs this business with his wife, Jo. They've been in the online arena for around 12 years. Chris comes from a very interesting retail background. Chris, I've mentioned a little bit about yourself. I'll just hand it over to you. Can you tell us a bit more about what your business is all about and how you got into it?
The business basically, in a nutshell, is we're specialists in hip-hop jewellery. So if you think about all the sort of jewellery that goes around the urban scene, all the sort of jewellery that rappers would wear, that I suppose inner city people would want to wear, then we specialise in that. The reason why we got into this, basically, I said about 12 years ago, I just had this idea that not a lot of people were selling this kind of jewellery. I think there was one other company that I saw, and there was an in particular ring that I was looking for, and I found this ring on a website in America which sold all this hip-hop jewellery, and I was absolutely fascinated by it. So we started off by just selling a few of these rings, because I bought one for myself, and I liked it so much I ended up buying a dozen of them off them, and I liked that so much. When it came through, I then started buying like a dozen chains, and they were then giving me samples of items to say, well, what do you think of this item? So we put that up for sale, and we get such huge interest in it. Then we go back to the company and say, right, we'll have a dozen of those, and what else have you got? And then before you know it, over a period of 12 months, this kind of evolved into us probably selling over 400 lines. And we know we're 12 years down the road now, to the extent we now have all our own stuff manufactured for us in China, more a mixture of sort of China, South Korea. We get watches from America. So a lot of it comes from all over the place. And that's it. So we just literally focus on the hip-hop scene, what the likes of these rapper artists and wearing, and we follow them and we put out the jewellery, so you don't have to spend thousands of pounds on real gold, real diamond jewellery. We make gold-plated or cubic zirconia versions of those, so the normal person on the street can afford to buy and look the same without spending the same.
Wow, Chris, that is absolutely fascinating. I'm just going to go over one or two things that you mentioned there, which we'd like to delve into. Really, really interesting. I'm finding when I interview people regarding their selling online operations, they all are saying the same thing, that they were after something themselves. They went out to look for it. They found it, many times from America, and they've brought in some for themselves, and then they've started to sell the rest of them online to test the market. And that's really important for people that are starting off now. They don't need to necessarily invest thousands of pounds in buying huge amounts of stock, getting an all bells and whistles website up and running in the first week, and spend all their money on that before they've even tested the market. And you're living proof to that you started small, brought in a few things, they started to sell, and then you grew from there. That's really important. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've got to find out what can sell, and the only way you can do that is just by having a little test.
Yes.
To pick up a point that you just said there about people spending lots of money on websites, I have met lots of people that say this. They think, the most important thing is to spend, a couple of £1,000, get a website. But, that's only as good as the amount of people that are watching it and looking at it and being able to find it.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you've got something, I think you just want to test to see if there's an interest in that product, then just use eBay, for example. You put something on eBay and you get a lot of interest, which you can see by the little counter on there. That'll tell you how many people have looked at it. Have you sold it? Have you made a profit on it? And then if that sells on there, there's a market for it. Then just dabble on eBay, and if you can find some company that do like a basic kind of web store, you could even start that up by doing it yourself if you've got some sort of, even if you've got some sort of basic skills. There are companies out there that will do like a homemade kind of web store.
Yes.
And again, that's a starting point, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Even out-of-the-box solutions that are a lot more reasonable to get you started. I'm very interested that you said that, Chris. You'd be amazed. Something that I also really liked when I discovered your business was the fact that it is so niche, and it really is all about finding that little niche market and really serving that properly. Like you said, you were after a particular type of ring. You couldn't find it anywhere locally. You had to go out to America and thought, hey, I could be doing this here in the UK. There's a large hip-hop scene here and I want to serve that properly. And you really went into depth, looked at it, studied it and went for it. And Chris, just in the recent few days gone by, we've interviewed someone who sells only shoelaces online. and another guy that sells only chili sauces online. Wow. And we're talking about 600 different types of chili sauces in this case, perhaps 500 sales a day of just shoelaces, things that you think, I'd never be able to build a business on this. But there are people out there that have investigated the market and worked on it. And having a look around your website, I must say, I didn't realize there were so many different types of pendants and chains and bracelets and rings that are all available. There's just so many variations that must have taken a lot of study to just get on top of that market.
Well, yeah, you kind of just have to get into it and delve into it, really. And you just have to kind of look at who else is selling your particular product. But in our case, we're kind of quite lucky, really, because in a way, it's kind of quite, well, I say it's quite new to the UK, but the actual product isn't, but people selling it seems to be quite new. Mm-hmm. So whenever I look at anybody, I look at the people in the States at what they're doing, and then generally you can kind of backpedal that a bit, and that's where the UK is. So whatever the current trend is in the States is probably a forward to where we are now. So I can almost kind of follow some trends from the United States and bring them over here.
Yes, yeah. Well, some people would say that we would be just a little bit behind in some of those areas, and therefore we can follow their fashion trends, which is really interesting. Yeah. You do sell on your own website. Do you also sell on eBay or Amazon?
Most of our business comes through the main website because that's the way we want it, because we have got lower overheads because we run it ourselves. Mm-hmm. So there's less sort of commissions and charges and whatever. But we also sell on eBay, but we don't just sell on eBay. It's all about diversification, really. So don't just sell on eBay in the UK. Once you get going, we're selling now on eBay UK, eBay USA, eBay Australia, France, Germany, Denmark, Belgium, all in those different languages. So all the listings go directly onto those company websites, into French, into German, and so on. We went to Italy recently, and it has proved to be a big success.
Oh, excellent. The last person I just interviewed actually told me that he spent a reasonable amount of money, well, not too much, but invested in translating his product listings for, in this case, it was Amazon in the different countries. Do you find that to be quite challenging, or do you outsource that with sufficient ease?
No, that's the same. I mean, we do the same on Amazon as well. We're selling across Europe and America and whatever. We basically work with another company that we would pay a monthly fee to, mm-hmm. and they manage all of our foreign listings. So we have all of our UK listings. So every time we put something up, we've got an account manager there that looks at that, and then they translate it and then list that product into these different areas for us. So we don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of online, isn't it? That you can take advantage of all those resources.
Yeah.
Not wanting you to choose which child you like best, as they say, but if you had to choose between Amazon and eBay and your own site, which do you prefer the best?
I would prefer my own website. I prefer people coming through that purely because of the fact we'll make more profit coming through there. Because obviously if you sell on eBay and you sell on Amazon, you've got to pay their commissions and their selling fees. Whereas, you come through our website and they're all minimal charges because they're all just a smaller percentage because we run the website.
Yes, and you run the website yourself. We were chatting just before the show. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
What we sometimes hear some of our businesses chatting about to me on the show is that they kind of form this mentality of saying, okay, there is a 15% commission on eBay. In the case of women's shoes that I sell online, I think jewellery might actually be a little bit more, if I'm not mistaken. So you've got a certain commission goes to eBay, certain commission goes to Amazon. But ultimately, with their own website, they also have to put in around 15 to 20% of their turnover back into their website to promote it, because people have to find you. Do you do a bit of SEO work yourself, or is that something that you outsource or don't bother with, or just use Google Ads? How do you go about letting people know about your site?
Well, in the early days, we did work with a company that helped us with SEO to get us up there into the rankings. Well, we pretty much got onto the top page, Mm-hmm. And we worked with them probably for a couple of years. But then as time gone on, they were giving us less and less, because, they started off by actually physically doing it, and then it became like on a consultancy basis where they'd say, oh, if you did this, this will make it better. So we'd make the changes ourselves.
Yes.
But then towards the end, as time got on, there seemed to be less and less changes to be made to keep our current rankings.
Okay.
Because we kind of got to know what we did, so we just automatically started doing things.
Yes.
So in the end, we felt that we weren't getting the value for money, really. So we cut ties with them, which was a big decision to make. She thought, crikey, if we do this, is it going to fall like a stone?
Yes.
So you do that, you do it, and obviously you do it amicably. So if you need to go back with your tail in between your legs, you can.
Yes. Calculated risks, but you want to have something to fall back on.
I explained it. Yeah. So we just carried on doing what we're doing and what we thought was right, and that seems to be continued on now. So now we don't pay for Google AdWords. We don't pay for any sort of anything. We just do everything ourselves. And I think the success of that is really updating your website regularly, putting relative content on the site, updating your products, and just having a well-written site, really.
Do you do all the photography yourself? Because they are pretty crisp and they're all in the same angle and they're all nicely stacked. They look quite impressive, the photos.
Yeah, I do that personally, so there you go.
Oh, well, I know myself from helping a jewellery store based in Northern Ireland here a couple of years ago. I spent all summer photographing their jewellery, and boy, is it tough. It's not the easiest product photography to get your head around. So you've actually done that very well. You can focus in to quite some detail there. So well done you from that point of view. That was definitely, I take my hat off to anyone who can do their product photography well. So that looks really nice. So you do sell on Amazon, you do sell on eBay, you do sell on your own website. Are they all linked together in some shape or form, or is that something that you can manage manually?
No, that'd be, well, it wouldn't be a nightmare, but it would certainly make hard work. Mm-hmm. But no, we use one program that basically we manage our inventory through one program.
Yes.
So when we, have a new product, it's just put it in one place. And from that one place, we can then upload it to go onto eBay, onto the website, onto Amazon, and so on. And then all the orders, when they come in, it doesn't really matter where they come from. They all come into one place. Yes. So we just go in and we see all the invoices for the day.
Yes.
Print those off, pack them up. It's all about simplifying it. So, you don't want to be spending so much time playing around with it. You want to be packing those orders up and sending them out quick to keep the customer happy and making sure they get the product quick.
Absolutely. And on my own website, we also use the same sort of system where all the orders come into one back office. We just press one button, print all the invoices in the morning, and off we go. It certainly makes the picking and packing process much easier. And yes, you're right. It's all right if you've 1 or 2 sales a day, but when you've got 100 sales a day or 200 sales a day or more, you definitely need that to get on top of your orders. Some of the business owners that I would be working with, sometimes when they start working, they would say, oh, I'm really worried if I'm going to sell my stock online. And sometimes I'm saying, listen, it's not the selling of the stuff you're going to have to worry about. It's the fulfilling of the orders. It's not missing stuff. It's making sure you're sending out the right things. It's reimbursing the returns whenever they come back in a timely fashion. Yeah. All of that ends up being key to having a well-oiled business online. So I totally agree with you there. It's absolutely essential. Have you had any really nice experiences, unexpected orders that you've woken up to and said, wow, I wasn't expecting that?
Well, occasionally we do get those, yeah. Because the majority of the time you're used to sort of seeing single item orders, or maybe somebody might order 2 or 3 items. That sort of thing can happen quite regularly. Mm-hmm. But it's nice when you log in the morning sometimes and you'll see somebody's ordered 10 items or something. You always think, well, that's made the day, that is. It makes life easier.
It certainly does. And customer service we see is key to a lot of the online businesses. Do you find that it's key to your business, or do people just buy it and get it and are happy, or is there a little bit more involved for you?
No, I think there's more involved with online selling than that. Mm-hmm. From previous experience, when I worked in stores, you're face-to-face with the customer. So what people are a bit wary of is, A, are they going to get this product? Are you a genuine company? Or are you just going to rip them off for the money and never send them anything? Or are you one of these companies that you hear about that just generate and keep all the credit card details? So there's all that worry about the fraud side of things.
Yes.
So I think you've got to overcome that. And the only way you can overcome that is by acting quickly and getting the goods out quickly and making sure that customers are happy with what they've got and in the time that they've got it.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. Sometimes when we're in the shop, I said to the girls, if they're back and forth with so many questions about a particular shoe, in this case where I'm selling women's shoes, just give them a call. They've sent their telephone number, lift up the phone, give them a call and say, hey, listen, can we, because sometimes you're back and forth that many times through emails, you forget that there's actually a person on the other end. So all that bodes well for your online business and creates that credibility which is needed.
We've had times before now where they've sent a question with an order, like, they may have only ordered it by something like second-class delivery because there's choices there. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes people just whiz through checkouts because they're in a rush or they don't really read it. But then they'll send you an email saying, well, I don't need this tomorrow. I'm going to get it tomorrow. So you think, well, crikey, it's not going to get there tomorrow with second class. So, in case like that, we'll phone the customer and just say, well, we can do that, but it's not going to be on time, or you can upgrade your shipping. They'll pay a bit more, and then I have it the next day. But that's just real life touches then. You're not just, you're dealing with a person rather than just dealing with a computer sort of thing.
Yes, and then you get the feel then for that customer, and ultimately that's how you help build your business to get repeat orders. And I'm sure like all of us, you put little flyers and whatnot in your packages to no matter what avenue it comes through, so that ultimately you'll be able to redirect them back to your website and hopefully get some more orders down the line. Do you find that the buzzword nowadays is this social media and Facebook and Twitter? Do you find that that's important for your business? Is that something you've delved into?
It's a very strange one, that is, really, because, yes, it's very sort of in now. Mm-hmm. People talking about Facebook and having Facebook shops. But, my experience of it is it hasn't made one iota difference to us.
Yes.
I tested this out one day on our Facebook page, and I put up a status on our Twitter and on our Facebook page. I thought, right, let's see how many people take notice. And I just put up a tagline, who wants anything for free? Mm-hmm. And nobody replied.
Wow. There you go. So yeah, well, there is this theory. Well, it's obvious that Google and Facebook, they may be a free platform for the end user, but it's a business and there's no such thing as a free lunch. So they do have to raise money in some way, and that is through advertising. So they want businesses to spend money to get their posts noticed. If you're just posting a random photo every now and again, it'll have limited viewing as such, because they want you to spend money, and ultimately you have to take that into consideration and then just work out your margins. There are some business owners that I talk with and they say, I could spend all my profit on advertising.
Yeah, we've dabbled in that many a time, and spent hundreds of pounds on Google AdWords and things like this, and the return, you end up losing money, really.
Yeah.
But that's just our experience, as a small business, really, because if you go back to the Facebook thing, I think if you're like a massive business that's got a huge following and you put these special offers or whatever up, because you're going to, they're probably going to go out to thousands and thousands of people, only a small percentage of that may respond, which is good enough for them. But when you're a small business, you just haven't built up enough followers and enough people to be able to sort of sell to, really, that are interested in that sort of thing. So I think the key to it is maybe start it off and just try and build it up over the years until it becomes something that's worthwhile having a go at. Yes. I wouldn't spend all my time on it.
No, and it is all part of the big picture, because as you said earlier on in the interview, It is all about sales. It's all about selling and making money. There's no point in doing it if you're just being a busy fool. So sometimes it is good to just sit down and just refocus and say, hold on a minute here. We're trying to make money at this. This is what business is all about. This is what we want to do. Let's see how we can increase our profit margins. And it sounds like you have that in mind all the time, especially if you've gone down the route of even manufacturing some of your own products, which I'm sure don't come without any heartaches. But ultimately, it is all about providing that service. I'm sure there's probably even bespoke pieces that you yourself make to offer to the public.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we get, as I say, because we look at what the artists are wearing, and then if we see something we like, then we can work well with our manufacturers. I can provide them with designs and saying I want this size, that amount of stones in it, and this kind of weight or whatever. And they'll make it for me, send it, and then I'll okay it, and we'll order loads. So we can do anything really.
Yeah, the world is your oyster, as they say.
Yeah.
If you had to give any advice to someone starting off on their online journey, selling online, no matter what the field would be, what advice would you give them?
I think the first and foremost thing about any business is the product. You've got to make sure that, is there a call for that product? Is it good value? If everybody else is selling the same thing, you've got to be offering the same thing at a better price or a better service than everybody else to make them want to buy it from you. So I think the first thing has got to start with what you're selling, because if you haven't got an item that's sought after, then you haven't got a business.
Exactly. So really research the product properly, do a bit of market research, test the market. And you're right, some of the businesses that I'd be working with on a daily basis may have product lines that could have a couple of thousand, 3, 4, 5, even 10,000 products that they potentially can put online. And many of them say, well, there's nobody else selling this, I'll put this up. But there may be a reason why no one else is selling it. It may not be sought after. So there may be more margin in it, but if people don't want it, then there's really no point. So you're right. It's very important to do your market research well and to dabble into it with care. And there's no point in going off to the Far East and buying a pallet load of a particular product just on a whim, because you could be sitting with it in your living room for the next 5 years.
Absolutely. Well, like you said, what you want to do, you want to build up your business to make a living.
Yes.
So you've got to make sure that you don't waste your money and lose money along the way. There's going to be trips and falls along the way, as with any business. And there's still things that, we can still buy things now, which I look at and get excited about, think, yeah, we'll have that. And then it just doesn't sell. So you think, well, you end up selling it back out at cost price just to try and get your money back.
Absolutely.
But don't go out and buy masses of products. If you can buy a minimum quantity, or even, work with some suppliers, because they'll want your business. So just say, well, I want some samples to test it. Just get test it in platforms where the visitors go in, such as eBay, such as Amazon, because there are loads of people going on them anyway. So if it sells on there, there's a good chance it will sell anywhere. Yeah,
exactly. And if you had a magic wand for your own business right now, what would you like it to do?
Oh my God. Well, I suppose if I had a magic wand, I would like to bear in mind the sort of product that we'd sell. I'd like anything that ever had any music-related video or anything to do with the hip-hop scene to end with our company logo and our website at the end of it. So it's the first person's thought. If they want to look like will.i.am or whatever,
yes,
and they want to buy his stuff, they see our name and then they go to us and buy it.
Yes, wow, yeah, very good. I'm just thinking too, wouldn't it be great if you had someone who would be studying all the music videos throughout the world and taking a screenshot of the jewellery that the hip-hop artists are wearing and automatically send it to you?
Yeah. I mean, we've had instances where we've had some stars wear some of our stuff on videos, but we're not allowed to say it because of the advertising, but we could sort of put the pictures.
Yeah, wow. Well, listen, it is a fabulous business. I'm thrilled that you were able to take some time out of your busy day to chat with us at Selling Online today. We could talk for so long about this area of online commerce, and you sound like a man who has a lot of experience. You've been in it practically from the beginning. You've built up a nice business, so we wish you all the best with that down the line, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you in the future and just see how things are going going. We do have lots of resources over at sellingonlinetoday.com for those who are just setting out and want to save some time with some tricks and tips. So we'll get a few from yourself and we'll put them on the show notes too, so as that we can all be together as a community to help sell more. So Chris, thank you very much.
No pleasure, no problem.
And we'll catch you again.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take the time right now to go to sellingonlinetoday.com and gain instant access to tons of free resources to help you in your online selling journey. We'll see you next time on Selling Online Today.